with a smile, I've heard it all. Neon fire, neon fire, watch the pop light my life one last time with a great big fire. Neon fire, watch the pop light my life one last time with a great big fire.
Hold up. Hello, hello? Hello? There? Is it working now? Why in the heck? Voice mod, I swear, is gonna be the fucking end of me. It's gonna kill me one of these days. I appreciate the notice there, Diamond. Thank you so much. Yeah, let me also increase my gain just a little bit on my mic. All right. Yeah, I don't know why, but it decided to just kill my mic, so that's cool, I guess. But yes, hello everyone. So for those of you who maybe were here at the start of the stream and just heard my muted ass saying absolutely nothing, hello, I am Emron. If you've been by here before, you know who I am. If you haven't been here before, welcome. I'm a tabletop RPG creator. Generally, I focus pretty heavily into cyberpunk, but I started my roots in fantasy, and so to fantasy, I must return at some point. So that's what tonight's about. So as I was trying to say, and I was even saying to myself, oh, yeah, the scuff here. The scuff is what we do here. So this lovely box is Dragonbane. So unlike most tabletop RPGs, this is not a starter set. This is the game. This is the game. So let me do a quick little semi-unboxing for you all here. Oh, good, the cards didn't scatter everywhere, but that's awesome. So what this box comes with, so of course there's the really important shit, the game catalog, which we need, right? So that'll go over there. Mostly that's just a shopping list for me at this point for all the any award-winning games I need to buy, play, etc. It comes with a couple of decks of cards. So unlike a standard RPG, this game does not use dice as its initiative tracker. You use cards. So we've got two decks. So one deck here is a deck full of treasures. So if I can get the back, you can see it's marked treasure. It's got a little treasure box. There's all kinds of stuff in this deck, spanning from coins to books to our friendly neighborhood rats, to a rusty nail. You know, anything that you might be able to find that, you know, would exist in like a little treasure cairn or something like that, right? Okay, cool. I'm like, dice, don't scare me, man. Telling me that this might be an issue. So yeah, so this is the treasure deck, and I am shuffling it and trying not to bend it, because I'll be needing this for tonight. Because I will be doing the cards physically for my benefit, because doing cards in Foundry is weird. So the next deck we're gonna look at here is what I just talked about. These, if I can fan them correctly. These are initiative cards. So they all have a number from 1 to 10 on the back of them. And so whenever players or monsters are fighting, we use these to keep track of the initiative. Because tonight we are going to be playing the solo module, which this game does come with, I will be drawing probably 2 cards for myself and 2 cards, I think, depending on the monster. These are adventure cards. Got a little dragon on them. They say adventure at the bottom there, just for you all to see. These are more for use in the full campaign setting, which we're not going to worry too much about tonight. And then we've got decks of improvised weapons. So these are anything from stuff you'd find randomly on a cave floor, to a forest, to an inn. So you can get all kinds of neat stuff from these. Like you can see here, this is 3 decks basically, and it's relatively thin. So, whoa, and I'm dropping them everywhere. Scuff is my middle name, guys. So these are built to allow a player to go through, and I'm just making sure I didn't just mix the decks. I did not. Good. These are used to make a player capable of like saying, well, my sword broke. What do I do? What's on the ground? One of my favorites, the ones I show off to everybody, are in the forest. You can pick up a viper or a wasp's nest and throw that at your enemy, which is utterly hilarious, and I'm a big fan. So we got little standy bases because there's a lot of little figures. The art on these are actually pretty cute. If I could get it to focus, maybe. Yeah, it's hard to get it to focus. I'll show off some of the art later as we get into the stream here. But you get a whole like 2 pages of cardboard standees, and those little plastic feet to have up to 10 of them put together at once, which should be all you ever need. You're never going to really be heavily outnumbered in this game for your players, and if you are, you could come up with a way to represent that. You also get a whole set of these like beautiful green dice. In this game, so we do use a full set of polyhedral dice. So we've got D20s. So we got 2 D20s in here. We've got 4 D6s because we need those to roll characters, which we will be doing shortly. We got a D12, a D10, a D8, and a D4. So full polyhedral set. And the D20s are kind of cool because in this game, unlike most games that use a D20 system, low rolling is good in this game. So when you're rolling a d20 specifically, if you're rolling for a check, lower is better. You want to roll low. The lowest number, of course, is 1, which we can see here. Again, if the camera will be so kind as to focus, you can kind of see the shape. That's a dragon. So that's the 1 on this dice. And then the 20 is there we go, a stylized demon. I'll try to get pictures of those and like upload those to my Discord later, which if you're not part of my Discord, you can absolutely join. Should be in the description. If you do want to check this game out for free, they do have a quick start guide with pre-written characters and a starter scenario that does come in the main adventure box called Rittermound, which is a fun adventure. I loved Rittermound. I played that at Gen Con. I highly recommend it. Up and down, it's an incredibly good adventure. It's got all the right vibes of just a crypt dive into the dank, dark, underneath the countryside. Really fun. Love it. So if you want to try that, the link to that is also going to be in the description of the stream. So, Crowned, how about your fists? Can't drop those. Exactly, yeah. No, that's true. If you put enough points into unarmed, those are weapons. Let's continue the unboxing. So what I have here is our solo adventure module, which I'll be probably using quite a bit tonight. So I'll probably refer to my physical one. I like physical paper. It makes it easier to read, and I'm gonna be able to keep chat up on my screen then. So the rest of the contents of this lovely thing, what's this in the very back here? Is this just a character sheet? Ah, yes, that's one of my players' character sheets, excuse me. So yeah, I've got quite a bit in this box here that maybe didn't start in here. Not too much, actually, but alright, so let's pull this out. So we've got the main rulebook, which, for those of you wondering, yes, that is like a Darkwing Duck lookalike. There's a race in this game called Mallards. They're duck people. I love them. So this is the main rulebook. So this would take the place of like a core rulebook in a game. It's a pretty nice paperback book. The front and the back are like cardboard or like a heavier paper stock. Pages are like glossy paper. So it's got a very like a magazine almost feel. But this is going to give you all the instructions for rolling a character, your rules for classes, which, by the way, this game is not super class intensive. The classes more determine kind of what you start with, so it's more your starting kit. And then once you've got what you're starting with, you can branch out by taking different heroic feats to customize. So if I know, since most of you have come from Dice's stream, you're probably familiar in Cyberpunk that roles are not classes, right? Roles are just the thing that we can do. And I've heard it described as this is the way we break the game, right? Roles are the manner in which we break the game. In this game, professions kind of fill a similar vibe, but they're not really how we break the game. They're more, where are you starting? What kit are you beginning with? What skills are you starting with? Where are you putting your eggs, essentially? What basket are those going into for stats and stuff? Beyond that, in here, you got all the normal stuff. We got a guide for doing combat. We got, the damage rules, magic rules. This game, by the way, for some of you who might have familiarity with D&D, we don't have Wish in this game. We don't have a lot of that really broken magic. The magic in this game is actually pretty well balanced as far as I can tell. And I'm hoping I get to play Mage tonight because I normally like playing Mage. This is very OSR inspired, by the way. So we roll a lot of dice when we're building a character. And we can fully just roll dice, and that's how we figure out our character, right? And what they're capable of. So we got gear. So let me pull the gear page up here so y'all can kind of see what we're doing here. So this is gear. This is the artwork. It's very pretty. And then, you've got the last kind of thing here. Bestiary. So we got a bestiary, and then it's got like rules for like quests. And one of my favorite thing about Free League publishing books in general is like the Game Master Rules section has like a whole thing back here at the very end of the book. That's like a series of role tables that let you kind of figure out like, oh, I want to make a quest for my players, but I don't know where to start. I need some inspiration. Roll tables, we got them. And they will kind of help you, they'll help you figure that out if you're lacking inspiration. So this one I'm not going to page through like I did the other one because this could have spoilers. So this is an adventure book. So this is one whole campaign built into the book here. And you can play these as one-shots. Rittermound is one of the ones in here. It's actually the one recommended for new players if you're just starting out. But there's like, I think, what is it, 15 different adventures in here? Hold on, I'm going to flip to the back here and just see. Yeah, there's 15 chapters in here. And of those 15 chapters, 5 through 15 are adventures. So yeah, you've got a lot that are just in this book. So if you wanted to run a campaign, this has the means for you to do that. The thing too is it's variable. So you actually don't need to run the campaign in a way that like makes it very long-winded if you don't want to. There's essentially the plot is you're hunting for the pieces of a relic. And the book describes which adventures have the potential for a piece of that relic to be located. And you can just run, you know, like the adventures that contain the relic and be done in like 4 or 5 adventures. Or you could run all 10 and like really get a feel for the Misty Veil, which we'll talk about in a second because that's kind of the setting for the box set. Hold up. I nearly dumped that. That would have been really bad. You also get this neat 2-sided battle map. So on one side here, we got forests, even though that's going to look probably kind of gray on my camera. And then on this side, we've got the floor of like a crypt or a castle, stone flooring. So that's kind of nice because then you got, you know, little surface to play on. This is one of my favorite little inclusions. So I like maps. I don't know if you probably can't see them, most of them on my camera. But for example, I have a map of Hydaelyn from Final Fantasy XIV up here. I've got a map of Night City that is kind of glared out right next to my node banner here. And then this is an entire giant map of the Misty Veil. Which, let me see if I pull it this way. Yep, there we go. And I don't get in the way of my mic. So this is where we're going to be playing. On the back, so for those of you who don't know, this game has existed in Sweden for quite some time. But it was brought to English thanks to a Kickstarter campaign. And this is a list of all the names, very tiny on the perspective of the camera, for the people who backed it. So that's really cool. Beyond that here, so let me see. So these are a bunch of character sheets that are people that have played with me, so I'm not going to focus on those. If I can show these without them falling apart. These are the standees. I've got a couple punched out up there at the top that I've moved around. So these are our little character tokens. Please stay in. Thank you. And then these are more like monster tokens. So, you know, the fun stuff. And then finally, we have a series. So this is like the cover page for the whole thing. So this is going to be hovering on top if you buy the box. And then we have a bunch of blank character sheets. And they are double-sided. So like if you ever, you know, want to use these, you can. I am someone who likes making copies of character sheets. So that way I don't, you know, lose the ability to make more. Although nowadays with PDF printing and stuff, it's very easy to make more if you really had to. Plus, then we have a bunch of pre-written characters. So if your group is one of those that like really doesn't, you want to think about rolling characters, or they don't really care about that level of customizability, you've got 5 different characters. There's a hunter, a rogue, a mage, there's a knight, and then there is a fighter. So you've got a wolfkin fighter. We've got a pissed off duck knight here, a mallard knight. We've got the stereotypical halfling rogue. We've got a human mage, very old. And then we've got the character I played at Gen Con, an elf hunter. So very cool stuff. Like I said, I'm a big fan of the game. And we're going to go through the whole process of making a new character here tonight. So I need those dice back. So I'm going to grab those out of the box here real quick. Just so that way... Well, no, I guess we can roll that in Foundry. So we're good. Because that's where I'm going to be running this through, is Foundry. So for those of you who don't know, Free League's Foundry modules are god tier. I have quickly begun to discover this as I've played through Blade Runner, not Morkborg yet, Cyborg, Pirateborg, and now Dragonbane. All of these are going to kind of illustrate exactly how good this is. So we are going to make a new player character. So give me just a moment, and I'm going to cycle this over to my main monitor. Alrighty, here we are. So what we are looking at here is we are going to be making a new character. So for those of you who don't know the history behind my name on YouTube, Emeron, Emeron, a long time ago, was my character for D&D. He was a high elf wizard who I adore. I love that character. And that's why I use it as a handle everywhere online now. So the one thing I do actually need is the rule book out of this, so I'm still going to need to undo what I've done here. So bear with me just a moment. There's my rule book. And then the rest of this, I'm going to repack in here. There we go. Okay. Beautiful. All right. Just so that's all, back where it kind of belongs. Oh, ooh. If I could stop being clumsy, that would be incredible. Just for once. All right. There we go. Very good. Awesome. All right. I think that's gonna... Yeah, should be good. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Take these spare tokens and stuff and just stick them in the lid here. Because I may need, not the tokens, but I may need the second deck. So you know what, let me pull this out minus the adventure cards because I won't need those. All right. There we go. Cool. So we're going to go through making a new character, and I am going to leave this up to the dice with the sole exception of my name. I think I'm going to play a variant of Emeron or one of my other fantasy characters that I've used in the past because I'm going to be a solo adventurer tonight. So normally I'm a GM. This game, as I kind of said earlier, has a solo play module. So we are going to be playing through the Alone in Deepfall Breach module and seeing how the solo for this game works. It is the only part of this game I have not explored yet, and therefore the last thing kind of holding me from, I guess, making a more comprehensive review of this thing. So you're all going to kind of help watch as we do that tonight. So where we're going to start here is I'm going to type in my name, because Emeron is who I am. All right, so we're going to start off with this very nondescript character sheet. I don't have a ton of art, and I don't really want to go and AI generate one while we're on stream together, so we're going to just pull him here so you all can see it. And then I'm going to go here. So I should, let me make sure here of something. I'm just going to check. Good. I do have the dice enabled. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to open up my rule book here. We're going to see what we get. And like I said, I'm going to leave everything but my name to the dice. And we're going to just see what we get. And then I'm going to pick things that make sense for that. So first off, we start with our kin. So kin is like what most games call race. It is, you know, whether you're a human or an elf or a mallard, whatever. So to decide this, we roll a d12. So let's begin by rolling a d12. We get a 9. All right. So 9 means we are dwarf dice. Good news. I'm a dwarf, buddy. So I am going to do this because this is something where we just drag this over to our sheet now. And we have the ability Unforgiving, which basically gives us bonuses if someone's hurt us. So with that decided upon, now let's find our profession, which is like our class in this game. So our profession is on a d10. So let's roll this up. 10. All right. Very cool. So a 10, we are a dwarf thief. That is very interesting and probably very appropriate, actually, given the fact that we're going into this thing alone. So we are going to be a dwarf thief, and we are going to need the equipment and stat lists. All right. So our key attribute is agility. So, and then we'll have a heroic ability called backstabbing, which you will already see listed there. I also have the option to take an extra heroic feat. So we are going to kind of look at what our options are as we get there. But so for now, let's first roll what our starting gear is. So our starting gear, actually, can I? No. Okay. I was thinking there might be a roll table for it built in, but that's perfectly fine. So we're going to roll a d6. So a 4. That'll give us a knife. Lockpick. Oh, that's not how you spell lockpick. Lockpick. Simple. And then we're going to start seeing that coming over here. Next thing is a torch. Flint and tinder. D6 food rations. So let's roll a d6 and see what that gives us. So we get 5 food rations. So we're going to look that up. Or I think they just call it trail ration. Yeah, field ration. Here it is. Cool. And then pull this up. I have 5 of those. Close that out. And then last but not least, we get D10 silver. So we're going to roll D10 silver. Cool. All right. So we get 3 silver to start with. And the way the game's currency system works, it's a basically a base 10 system. So 10 copper equals a silver, 10 silver equals a gold. And then gold is stacked forever, basically. As long as you're holding less than 100 of any one coin, it is considered tiny, negligible weight, and we don't need to include it in encumbrance, which is kind of important to note. Additionally, we are going to roll our nickname right now. So my actual name is Emeron, but my nickname is going to be Black Rat. So I'm Emeron Black Rat. That's very cool. Awesome. Very, very cool. All right. So we're on now to our... Let's first roll for our age. So age affects us in this game because essentially what we're going to be going for is it determines how many extra skills we get and if we get any stat bonuses. So before we roll any of those, we're going to roll for our age to determine as we kind of select those, because similar to D&D, you pick where your attributes all go. So we're going to roll it's a D6, right? Yeah, it's a D6. Awesome. So we are adult, I believe that means. Yes, we are an adult. So let me add that in here. Does it not give me kin, profession, age? Ah, yeah, age is a drop down here. We are adult. Okay, very cool. So adults don't have any attribute bonuses or detriments, which is good. And we get 4 additional trained skills at the start of the game. If we were young, we would only get 2 that are not part of our profession. So our profession skills are acrobatics, awareness, bluffing, evade, knives, sleight of hand, sneaking, and spot hidden. So we will get to train 6 of those and may train the remainder if we decide to. But we need to do at least 6 of those. So let's start with our attributes. Most of our attribute points are because of the fact that we're a thief. They will go into agility. But so we are going to do roll 4d6. All right, so we got a 2, 5, 6, and a 1. So we get our first number is a 13. So let me actually pull this up on a sticky note here real quick that we can see, just so that way it's clear what we're doing. All right, so our first number is a 13. Then we do that one again. Okay, that time we're looking at a 7. Not ideal. 7s aren't great. Next up. Oh, wow, okay. So that's a 6, 6, 5, so that's going to be 17. Very, very good. We do this 6 total times. So the next one, 3, 2, 2, so that's another 7. Ugh, not great. And then roll, or I can just do this again. 6, 4, 2, so that's 12. And then the last roll. 6, 3, 2, so that's an 11. All right. So with that done, now we get to start picking our attributes. So the highest one obviously is going to be our agility, because we want this to be our 17. So we're going to do that. Is there any way for me to pin this to the top so that I don't have to keep... No? Okay. I'm going to just move this just slightly off the... Whoops. That's not what I wanted to do. Hold up. There we go. That's better, because now I can just click back onto it. So we've got our 17 decided. So Constitution and Will are kind of like our HP and our MP. So the first thing we get to decide is an extra heroic feat. And I think what I'm going to do is take Army of 1, which means we get to pick 2 initiative cards instead of 1 when we're doing combat. So let me Army of 1. So we're going to go ahead and add that onto my sheet. And by the way, anyone in chat, if you have any questions about what I'm doing, definitely let me know. I am more than happy to answer questions as we're going through all this, because I know this is going to be an interesting thing to do. But let me see here now. So the next numbers we have to do. So the thing I need to figure out is where I'm putting my 2 7s. Because if I'm not mistaken, what does a dwarf cost for that? Okay, so their willpower is 3 for their skill, and probably if I had to take a guess, I'm guessing thief is going to be the same, right? Let's see, backstab. Well, I could probably check it by clicking this, huh? 3 willpower, yep. So, okay. So we're probably gonna want at least... So I think I'm going to dump my intelligence, which may or may not be wise. We'll see. Will I probably want to have strength? I probably can avoid because knives are dexterity weapons, as I understand. So yeah, so we'll probably dump our strength as our other 7. And then we get to do 13, 12, and 11 as our remaining stats. So I'm probably going to do a charisma of 13, constitution of 12, and a will of 11. And that'll give us something to work with, ultimately. So, okay, so this is where we're starting on our stats. Now, for our skills, we're already looking kind of iffy. Some of these being 4s are not super comfy. But we are going to see what we can get. So the nice thing is I don't need to do any of the math myself. It's already done it, a lot of it. So we are going to do training here. So these little ticks next to these are for advancement. So they're not to learn it. This is going to be how we adjust it. So our skills that we need to take are the ones bolded, actually. So I don't even need the book anymore at this point. So we are going to look at this from the standpoint of what we want in terms of training. So training doubles this base chance, which is derived off of how high our stat is. So these 7s, in other words, will become 14s. The 6s would become 12s. The 4s would only become 8s. So we're probably not going to take training in any of the int-based skills. And actually, looking at this... No, persuasion's pretty good. And sneaking is... So we're going to definitely take sneaking. So that's our first of our 6 that we have to take out of there. Acrobatics probably will be another one we take, just to make sure we have it. Sleight of hand is good for lockpicks and things like that, so we'll do that. Knives are going to be our main weapon, so that's going to be our damage. We'll take that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 of our 6 that we need. Bluffing, I will probably take as a skill there as well. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Evade is our last one that we have to take. All right, so from here now, we're going to look and see how well, we can get some of these other things. So I'm debating taking healing even if we dumped our intelligence, because that's one of the ways that we can try to heal ourselves while we are out and about. Because I believe Army of One leans into that, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. Okay. So, so what we're going to do... Dumping awareness just never seems like a winning strat. I mean... I never said this character was built to last forever. Because the only other choice I'd really have there would be to flip my charisma for it. Or like my will for it. And I just... Only having 2 uses of my active abilities is also not a winning strat. Before I need to like take a rest. Because basically you don't want to take a rest if you don't have to. That's like the big thing. You just try to avoid that. But we could. Because charisma is really good. For solo play, because you want to negotiate your way through problems if you can. And sneaking allows us to get through a lot of things. Because let me think, if we double our awareness, because the charisma would then become Hmm. Yeah, we can train our awareness and we're going to train our healing because both of these are kind of important. The other thing that I know we can do. So that's how many trained skills total right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we need 2 more. I believe persuasion. I'm going to check something here. Because there's a way when you're playing with a team to pull yourselves up. Or not pull yourselves up, but pull a party member up from the brink of death by persuading them to rally. Okay, yeah, so persuasion's one that we're going to definitely want to take. Which I'm kind of surprised I didn't take that already, because that's part of why I gave myself so much charisma. And I guess we'll do spot hidden. As our last one then. Yeah, I think that's going to be what we do. And you know, if we die, we die. You know, I'm not too mad about it. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. I'm in. Yeah, I know, exactly. Like we're going to have some fun with this. We're going to see what we get. I'm not going to be mad if we die, we die. You know, like I'm here to see what this is about, see how well balanced this is, and if we get there, we get there. If we don't, we don't. Let me set my thermostat real quick. All right. I'm sorry. I just need to chat my wife real quick. Good. Okay. So yeah, let me just set my thermostat real quick because it is really warm in here, and oh my god, it is 82 degrees in here. Yeah, no wonder I'm feeling very warm. All right, there we go. So, what we're gonna do is we are going to, now that I have my character rolled up, we are going to begin doing our run through the dungeon. So with that said, let us start, and I'll read you off kind of the narrative as we kind of begin this. All right. So for those of you who don't know, let me pull the map up here. Because I think there is yeah, here's the Misty Vale. So let me activate this scene. Awesome. So here we are in the game. So I'm going to unpause. All right. So we are here in Deepfall Breach. All right. So let's begin with this. So legends tell of a wicked wound in the world struck by the demon lord Sathmog's spear, Deepfall Breach. The perilous depths of the breach plummet leagues into the foundations of the Misty Vale, comprising rough-hewn passages, echoing caverns, and ancient ruins. Only a fool would venture alone into this realm of chaos and shadow, and yet here you stand. Yep, I'm an idiot. Didn't bet on me being an idiot, did you? All right. This is a solo adventure for Dragonbane designed for play with a single-player character. That's me. No game master required. Yay, I don't need to be here. Undertake missions in Deepfall Breach, imagining the details of each scene and the actions of the NPCs and monsters. When you must overcome danger, decide your approach and make a skill roll to see how you fare. If you're unsure of what happens next or want to leave it to the whims of fate, use the included tools and tables to provide the answer. This can also be done for small group play. Just finished doing dishes. What'd you miss? Just making our characters. So we are Emeron Blackrat. We are a dwarf thief. And we are going in with armed with our wits, a knife, some lockpicks, a torch, and some very low intelligence. It's going to be fun. So let us go to the Chapel in the Wolf, because this is what I was about to read. So we have arrived in the Misty Vale looking to adventure. So let me just minimize this. So we are right here on the world map. So I will drag my character token right here. Awesome. So we've arrived. So with that said, the nameless chapel stands at the end of, at the edge of Deepfall Breach. The mortared stones of the structure have stood against time, wind, and calamity, but its stained glass windows lie scattered in shards, and the heavy oaken doors hang loose and creaking on ancient hinges. You are caught amid a torrential rain, so you slip inside, eager to escape both the downpour and the baleful red glow emanating from the depths of the breach. Inside, the chapel casts a shadow of itself. Rotting pews, piles of refuse, tattered tapestries depicting battles long forgotten. Candles lend their meager glow in flickering clusters, while fragrant smoke curls from incense burners. Maze-like etchings litter a large desk occupying the far wall. Maddening, aren't they? The gruff, weathered voice precedes a hunched form, dislodging itself from the shadows. Silver streaks the coal-black fur of a wolfkin draped in ratty robes. He leans on a wicked-looking two-handed mace, topped with a clenched steel fist. Numerous scars mark the wolfkin's lupine visage, with a stone sphere replacing his left eye. The breach, he continues, nodding toward the desk littered with labyrinthine maps, impossible to map with any accuracy. He introduces himself as Stonegaze, though he also supplies his true name, Ingolfur. The name is not unknown to you, but the Ingolfur of whom you've heard is a fearsome warrior and famed hunter of demons, not an old hermit priest. Have you come to delve the breach, he asks. There's good to be done, justice to be dealt, and riches to be uncovered, if you've the mettle for it. So this is Ingolfur. Yay! So he is a non-player character. He's got a weapon and everything. Very, very cool. That's wits everyone with a W. So with that, we have our missions. So a mission encompasses the unique goal, threats, and environs of each journey into the breach. Stonegaze supplies your missions. His enchanted sight pierces the stone of the rift, allowing him to discern its dizzying depths. His scrawled maps and notes guide through waypoints and warn of potential dangers, but much of the route will be shrouded to even his uncanny vision. All right, so tonight, let me read my physical one just so I don't spoil this for anyone in the chat, because there was a specific one that I want to attempt here tonight. Here we go. There we go. All right. So we are going to do this. So the Reforged Shard is the total mission. All right. So as we descend, so we are going to descend down into this pit here. So you descend a crumbling staircase into the chasm, braving the dizzying heights. A twisting corridor leads from the cliff face into the heart of the breach, emerging into what Ingolfur called the Vault of Many Paths. Here lies a great confounding hub of passages branching from an ancient spherical chamber, its walls embossed with primordial battlefields depicting dragons and demons clashing eternally in stark relief. Innumerable tunnels run from the wall like veins through the stone flesh of the earth. You steel yourself against the perils to come. Take a moment to study the notes and maps provided by Ingolfur and step forward. Beyond lies your path for this mission. So, we are going to go into the cultists' warring. So Ingolfur simply says, "My gaze is fixed upon the cultist subterranean outpost. There find Yariok, the devotee of demons, who wears the World Breaker shard as a medallion. Wrest it from them so we may remake its power for good. All right. So the threat. The chasm is restless. Magma churns below. Be quick, lest the breach unleash its fury in your path. When the threat activates, flowing magma bursts into the scene, causing chaos. All right. So the way that this is going to work is we need to see... So these are actions, attributes, results, dragon and demon effects, and the minion and boss level enemies, NPC attacks. So lots of fun stuff. And then the treasure deck, which we have right down here. So there's a specific thing that I need for this, though, which is... see, surviving, because I need to see what the threats look like, how this works. Navigating waypoint. So mission threats. Here we go. A threat represents a looming danger, such as an environmental hazard, pursuing foe, or time limit. Each mission summary includes a description of a threat, and you can introduce a new threat in the midst of an expedition if you learn of an imminent peril. To track a threat, use a d6 as a counter starting at 1. If you suffer a significant delay or create an opening for the threat through inaction or failure, rotate the die to advance the threat by 1. In dire situations, such as when rolling a demon on a time-sensitive task, so that'd be a 20 on a time-sensitive task, advance the threat by 2. Since the dangers of the breach do not wait, you should also advance the threat if you divert from your mission for activities such as searching an area or resting, taking a stretch or more. So the way time works in this game, just so everyone's on the same page as me, is you've got 3 different measurements of time. You've got rounds, which are akin to rounds in like any RPG. So those are going to last you about, I think in this game it's supposed to be about 5 seconds. You have a stretch, which is about 15 minutes, so that's about as long as you need to take like a short break. And then there's a shift, which is a basically going to be a 6-hour period of time where you could take an extended long rest and recover yourself. So when the threat advances to 6, the event comes to pass. You must face this danger or complication head on. If the threat is inherent to the mission or the nature of the region you are exploring, it should reset to 1. If not, remove it from play. All right, so every time we hit 6, lava's going to come is what I'm getting from this. Okay, very cool. So I'm going to keep D6 in real life off to my side. I'm going to use this very appropriate metal dwarven die. So we're going to set that at 1 right there next to me. So the threat is that the chasm is restless. So first and foremost, the last thing I need to know is navigating waypoints. So play out missions within the breach by focusing on key locations, dangers, or encounters. These points of interest are your waypoints. Some waypoints are described by Ingolfer in his rundown of a mission, while others remain a mystery until you investigate them. A waypoint might detail a single notable space or passageway, or describe a larger section of the breach. For each mission, progress through the waypoints in order described in the mission summary. Imagine your approach, the details of the area, the dangers you face, and the opportunities you uncover. Resolve any questions or challenges at a waypoint before proceeding to the next. If a waypoint is unknown or you want additional detail, use the fortune chart, inspiration table, or exploration tables to reveal what you find. The places and passages between waypoints offer nothing of note and can be ignored or summarized. Since your expeditions into the breach are abstracted, you don't need a map. However, a simple outline or flowchart of waypoints marking down important events or findings will prove helpful. If you flee a fight or are forced onto a new path, introduce an extra waypoint to represent the unexpected diversion. Thus, your journey through the breach is made more dangerous and complex. Resolve this waypoint before returning to the mission's path. The final waypoint is your objective. This is where the fate of the mission is decided. Okay. Very, very cool. And then gaining experience works, I think, largely the same. You may no more than twice reward your character a bonus heroic ability for a valiant sacrifice or astounding success on a mission. Okay, very cool. So we get 2 bonus heroic abilities if we deem ourselves worthy, basically. That's cool. Awesome. So yeah, so let's begin with the Cultist Warren. So first, we come to the stone maw. So this great earthen visage is twisted and warped by time and the chisels of cultists, evoking a fanged monstrosity whose gaping maw presents your entry point. I see blood dripping from those wicked fangs, but I cannot say if this vision is real or prophetic. So, the stone maw. Let us use our exploration tables first. So, we are first gonna look. So we are probably approaching what I would consider a vile temple. So this is gonna be, bear in mind, these roll tables are not gonna be, resolute, like we have to roll every time. If it makes sense for this one of these to be what we're faced with, we're gonna use that. So we are looking at the face of a vile temple, the location details. So let us see the contents here. So 1d4 results, environment, oddity, danger. Okay. And this is more for like if we're doing our own. All right. So if I understand this correctly, as we approach this thing, we're going to be approaching over the magma-filled chasm below us, across a stone bridge made of aged, weathered bricks of varying sizes, description. Worn cobble would probably be a good descriptor. That's what I'm envisioning in my head right now. So let's roll, because we've got cultists, so we know this is our inhabitants here. So I am going to roll a sneaking check. So let's start there. So sneaking as we approach here to be very cautious. Cool. We have succeeded in sneaking. So we approach the front of the temple without being seen, using errant bits of debris from the decaying bridge and temple facade as our cover. Paying extra close attention to any people that might be in the area around us. I'm also going to roll awareness here to see if we can spot anything in particular. I am not going to push the roll, so we are not going to do that. So we're just going to fail our awareness roll, and that is perfectly fine. So, and I'll explain how pushing works when we get to a place where I really need to do that. So we are now going to roll on the... Let's roll oddities. Let's see if there's anything truly odd about this area. Flourishing tree. Oh, interesting. So near the front of the temple's facade, there is, against all reason or logic, a flourishing, winding tree with green leaves that basically defy the magma around it, which is very, very interesting. So let me also roll if there's any dangers here. Imminent collapse. All right, interesting. So as my character steps forward deeper into the breach, closer toward the temple, some of the cobble gives way below his feet. And this, of course, causes me to think very carefully about my next steps. So we are going to go ahead and roll an acrobatics check here to attempt to clear the remainder of the bridge, bearing in mind that we are still sneaking, so we're going to try and do this very quietly. And we do so. Very cool. So we successfully pick our path through the decaying cobble of the bridge, and very, very little of that collapses on our way through, certainly not nearly enough to catch the attention of some of the cultists who are standing near the front of the breach itself. So we're off to a good start. So let me see what we've got next now. So we've got, so we are here. So the Great Earthen Visage is twisted and warped by time and chisels of cultists, evoking a fang monstrosity whose gaping maw represents your entry point. See blood dripping from those wicked fangs. Cannot say if it's real or prophetic. And we're unknown and unknown for our next 2 waypoints. So being that I've managed to sneak, I am going to find my opening past any guards that may be present. There was not a trap laid for us. It just appears that the stones on the entrance bridge were rotting. So we are good. We do not have to worry about getting suddenly impaled by some horrible spear or something. Good stuff. So we are going to go into... So when we encounter something that is unknown, what does that mean? So, mission threats, leaving the breach, gaining experience. All right, so engulfs vision cannot penetrate these. So how does this work for unknown waypoints? Fortune chart, here we go. Okay. So I apologize, everyone. I'm going to just be checking this to see if got anything useful here. Human effects, managing NPCs and monsters. Because that's all the attacks. Where are the unknowns? That's what I'm really trying to figure out. Because I remember reading something about this. So your mission, so into the breach. So navigating mission, progress through the waypoints, imagine your approach, resolve any... The waypoint is unknown. Here we go. Or you want to add additional detail, use the fortune chart, inspiration table, or exploration tables. So let's see what the exploration table is. So we arrive at our first waypoint that Ingolfer was not able to give to us. So we encounter ourselves in a cramped chamber. Not that surprising, honestly. So within this cramped chamber, let us find if there is a... let us find if there's any threats in here, because now I'm curious about that. So we are going to look at our fortune chart. So D6. So yes, no. If it's yes, no, it's 1 through 3 is a no. So is this chamber inhabited? It is. The number it is inhabited by. Interesting. Numerous. So we enter a cramped chamber that would, I suppose, be some kind of either annex or foyer into the deeper parts of the temple, filled to the brim with cultists. So now let's roll another sneaking check, because with this many things in the same room as me. Good. Okay. So I'm able to kind of stick to the edges of the room and kind of skirt past the cultists using a variety of little bits of cover as or a variety of different emplaced cover bits as I kind of wander around this here. So that is very interesting. Okay. So next, now that we know, let's see exactly what we've got in here. So I'm going to add 1 extra D4 here. An ambushing foe. Oh, interesting. So it rolls. So did I understand that that was a draws a result from location details table? Interesting. So hidden in between all these cultists is maybe someone ready to ambush us. So let's roll for awareness. And we succeed. Okay. So before we cross their path, we see there's one cultist among the crowd here that is looking very, very discerningly over the entire mass of them, with eyes set specifically toward the various entrances and exits into other sections of the temple, looking for any who may seem out of place. Thankfully, we see them. So we are able to wait for their gaze to be cast elsewhere before continuing along our path. Being that this is the case, I'm going to, I think, in accordance with the threats, mission threats, because it says D6 is a counter starting one, suffered significant delay or create an opening for the threat through an action or failure. So being that we will need to take probably a little time to secure our way through this room, given how crowded it is, I will advance the threat die to 2. Whoop, that is a 1. And where's my 2? Where is my 2? There is my 2. Okay, cool. So we're on 2 now. So with a 2, things are going to get interesting. So now the next waypoint was also unknown. So we eventually find our way through to one of these passages. So there are several passages that lead us forward out of this room, which is probably why it's not known kind of where we're going to go next. So let us roll the next location here, shall we? So a confounding maze. Oh, very interesting. Okay. So as we find our way through the maze, not only of people that are in the one room, but the passageways in the temple, we quickly find ourselves in a difficult to navigate labyrinthine nest of different tunnels, passageways, doorways that are lit dimly by torchlight. Every so often, we see the figure of a cultist just around the corner, or hear the scuffling of shoes along the rough-hewn earth that signal someone coming. I'm going to continue rolling our sneaking here. We're good. All right, very cool. So we managed to continue hiding in between the light generated under the torches. And manage our way through the passages still unknown by the enemies. They do not know we are here. Thank God. We are having a very good run with our sneak so far. So this is fascinating. Okay, so through these mazes, so now we have to kind of figure out if we know how to navigate this. So let me roll location details. All right, I'm going to re-roll that. Fiery surroundings. Okay. So as we navigate some of these passages, we feel the heat, realizing that it's not just the torches throwing it. As we can see eventually, as we kind of navigate around one of these turns, the passageway gives way to another bridge similar to the one we walked over on our way into the temple. And we can see the lava underneath us, deep in the breach. And the heat of that is just bleeding through the tunnelways, blowing over our character's face. It is not comfortable. Even for a dwarf who maybe is used to these kinds of environments for purposes of mining and foraging, this dwarf is not happy with this. So, only there were some channel points to bet on. Will Emeron avoid detection? Well, we can start a poll. I can do a poll. Let's see. Will Emeron avoid detection until the end of the adventure or a forced waypoint. So basically, like, can we sneak until we can't sneak anymore? There we go. So yeah, we can't gamble on YouTube with channel points, but we do have a poll. So if you guys want to vote on that one way or the other, I would love to see your input on that. I really would. All right. Very, very cool. All right. So, and I can actually, because of this little doohickey I've got over here, control center, I can actually just keep my my OBS minimized. That's very, very cool. All right. So we do have fiery surroundings. And I want to know specifically if there are inhabitants here. So let me look for inhabitants. Because, yeah, you know what? We'll just roll on this table. So there are orcs. So the cultists have managed somehow to either form some kind of alliance with, or perhaps the servitude of orcs. They've managed to somehow get these orcs here. These orcs appear to be guarding the way forward for us, which we've begun to maybe kind of figure the navigation of this out. The other thing I'm going to do real quick is see what would be a good skill for this. Let's roll awareness. Ha, we pass it. All right, very cool. So we do manage, based on the footprints left in the rough-hewn earth passages and in the soot on the cobble along our path, we do manage to find our way forward, which is where we find these orcs. And they appear to be wearing very little in the way of armor. They are armed primitively with basic axes, and probably would not take too kindly if they saw us. So I am going to attempt to sneak right past them. I managed to do so. Very cool. So as they look away, I managed to quickly sneak past, tumble through into the next passage beyond them. And being that we had to take our time kind of navigating these tunnels, I think... No, you know what? I'll leave it at a 2 for now, because I think we actually did pretty well for ourselves on that. So we are now going to go back to here. So we are now on to the Fool's Crossing. So this is where our fiery passage led us to. So this crumbling bridge spans the breadth of the rift. Below, a river of magma belches smoke and fire. A small band of orcs encamp on the near side of the bridge. There it is. A barricade manned by cultists lies on the other. The orcs siege the bulwark but take no ground. There must be magic at work to repel these skilled warriors so handily. So the orcs we saw actually are not indeed accorded by the cultists. They're seeking guard against some of these cultists maybe that want to cross to help their brethren. Very interesting. Okay, so the maze of passages we landed ourselves down into left us on the orc side of things. So if there's magic at work, very interesting. Let's go ahead and roll ourselves. Let me see what we've got here. See the fortune chart here. By the way, I love that the Swedish is still in here. I'll need to let them know about that. Because I believe on the print version of this, that's probably not there. right? Hold up. I just want to know that I'm reading this correctly. Question, result, interpretation. Okay. So, got it. Okay. So we are looking... So there's a barrier. We know that much. So I'm kind of curious from here. I'm glad that everyone's agreeing so far that I will avoid detection by the people that I need to avoid. That is good. So let's... Fools. I'm the GM. I always roll good. What are you talking about? Very interesting. So I'm trying to think of how to interpret this. So if there's magic afoot, how would we detect the magic? So maybe it's not the inspiration table we need. So let's maybe make an awareness check. Let's start there. We succeed. All right, very cool. So we do get to know a little more about this barrier. I think that that's how we'll interpret that. So the next thing we're going to look at here is, what is this magic? So we're going to say attribute dangerous. So the interpretation... So it's a dangerous... Oh, well, no, hold on. Dangerous, and then the attribute would be... Oh, no, I'm so sorry. Hold on, let me delete these. Because it's... Dangerous is the quality. And then the thing... Dangerous person. Okay, interesting. So there would be a cultist and mage then maybe positioned on top of this bulwark. Raining down, maybe not spell work on the enemies, but certainly raining down a protective barrier that keep the orcs away. So now our question becomes, how do we deactivate the barrier? How do we deactivate the barrier? That... We got a guy up there. Let me take a look at the magic spell list here. Really quick. Just so that I have like an idea of like what spells might produce this. And then we'll see if my character's smart enough to know this. Because I'll delineate the knowledge. But this way at least I know kind of what's available in the game itself, since I'm playing both GM and player right now. This is kind of the way we're going to do this. Alright, here we go. General magic. So you've got Dispel, Protector, Magic Shield. Range up to 10 meters. Magic Seal. So that seals something into... Animism isn't probably our thing. Elementalism probably isn't our thing. It's probably going to be mentalism. Mentalism is kind of the powers that'll let you do that sort of stuff. Maybe not, though. Yeah, maybe not. Interesting. So, yeah, they might just be throwing out magic shields. Interesting. Or something akin to that. Okay. So somehow they are using magic to barrier up this bulwark. They're trying to hold off against it. That is what I'm getting, correct? That is what we've seen. Cultist lines and the other siege the bulwark take no ground. There must be magic at work to repel these skilled warriors so handily. So it doesn't need to be a barrier. It could just be a spellcaster doing spellcastery shit. Okay, so we're gonna take a risk here. I am going to stealthily pop up next to this orc commander, who I presume I could see, you know, who is in command here, especially with the awareness check I rolled earlier. So I'm going to go up to that commander, and I will simply say, I can help you with your predicament if you but allow me to remain unseen by the enemy. And I'm going to roll a persuasion to see how open he is to that. Oh, that's a demon. I don't like that. Okay. So let's roll a demon effect. Nailed it. Yeah, thanks, Mark. Cursed me. So demon effects. Cause collateral damage or injure yourself. I know how we can interpret that. Okay. So the orc will swing at me in response to this. I will try to roll an evade to get out of the way. I will. And I'll say, you don't need to do this. You don't need to do this. Please, please, please. Allow me simply to help. Allow me to simply help. I will roll another persuasion check. This time with a Bane, probably. Because, let's be honest, that demon probably did me no favors. Oh, we succeed with a 10. Hell yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So, with that, he does listen to me. Say, I just need your men to take up positions along this side. The wizard, take care of them. And so we're good. The cultists still haven't noticed me. They're too busy dealing with the orcs up there. But that's good. So our persuasion is marked for improvement at the end of this session. That's very, very good. All right. So the orc captain will agree to our play. So he yells at his men to take the flanks. The wizard, of course, is not going to particularly like this. But I will, under the cover of the chaos they've created, sneak up on the wizard. And as his guards are all taking care of the orcs and keeping them off of him, I will simply climb up the bulwark that he is standing on successfully. And it's time to backstabby stab this guy. So I need to see how this works. So you can activate this ability when making a melee attack an enemy that is also within 2 meters of another player character. Counts as a sneak attack, which means it cannot be dodged or parried. So this normally would just be if we had other players. I should probably think to swap that. Bottom line, though, it is a sneak attack, which means that we increase the number of dice rolled for damage by 1. So that is very, very cool. So we will be making this as a... do we not have... Hold up. Main dwarf. Do. Hold up. Yeah, because we were holding this weapon in the main hand. It is not damaged. I just want to make sure it counts our bonus damage, but if it doesn't, I can always mess with this later. So the good news is we get to just stab this guy, I think. So he can't evade us. Let me just read sneak attacks real quick here. Do. Oh, here we go. Melee combat. Sneak attack. When you sneak up on someone undetected and perform an attack, it's called sneak attack. Make a sneaking roll. We already did that. Moving closer to enemy in melee attacking melee combat gives you a Bane. If you fail, the enemy notices you draw initiative. If you succeed, your attack counts as surprising, which means you can choose any initiative card you want. You also get a boon on the attack. Target can neither dodge nor parry. Using a subtle weapon increases the damage by a die. Sneak attacks are always performed individually by one attacker against one target. Cool. So we will probably need to roll that extra sneak now that I look at that. Because sneaking, and we roll it with a Bane. We succeed! Yes! Alright, very good. So, we get right up by this cultist, who I am going to draw. I'm going to say... we're going to say this is a minion level guy, because I don't think this is a full-on boss. So we're going to do that. And so now, let me just minimize that real quick. And so we get a boon on the roll. And then I need to see what the difference is between all of these. I'm pretty sure stab is just, yeah, inflicting piercing damage. Toppling weapons get a boon to the roll. Stab and try to find a gap in the enemy's armor. Well, they don't have armor, I think, so we're probably good there. I'm just gonna double check here. Damage. Terrain. Sneaking on someone undetected, perform an attack is called sneak attack. Stand crouch, sleeping door enemies. So what's the melee attack? Interesting. Terrain, melee combat, prone targets, critical hit, weapon. Special attacks. Oh, here we go. It's an optional thing. If it's piercing, you can try to find a gap in the enemy's armor, natural armor. You get a Bane on the attack, but if it hits, enemy counts as armorless. All right, well, this enemy already does count as armorless because they're just going to be wearing robes. So we are going to target this guy. Yep. And then we are going to roll our knife. We're just going to stab him. And we'll see if it rolls additional damage or not. Oh, we should have gotten a boon on the roll. Hold up. We succeed, but I want to see if we would have gotten... Yeah, no. Okay, we're good. So yeah, I'm going to roll damage. Okay, good. It does do that. And then we are going to deal damage to this guy. And then I'm also going to roll an additional d8 because we are allowed to... Oh, wait, not d6. Hold up. Roll d8. There we go. Okay. Or wait, no. It was a d6. I'm so... Wait. No. It's a d8. I got that right. Okay. So it's one additional point of damage. So now this mage knows we're here. So let's deal initiative. So I get to choose my initiative card. Unsurprisingly, I'm going to choose the number 1. So we got 1. And the other guy gets dealt a random card from the remaining deck. So they are going to get an 8. Very good. All right. And then because we are solo, we get an additional card as well. I get 2. Awesome. Very cool. So yeah, so these are our cards. This is the enemy's card. Very cool, because they're Ferocity 1. Awesome. All right. Well, that was a free action. So now, of course, I am going to knife them with another stab. And true to my word, I managed to murder this guy. So I quickly sprint up to this guy, deftly flip over the fucking battlement here, crouch up behind him, knife to the back of the neck, and this guy dies, bleeding. Goodbye. The orcs quickly make work of all of this cultist's guards. This guy silently goes out. We are not discovered. Initiative is clear. Very, very good. Wow, that was actually incredible. And we didn't even need to spend will points to do it. That is truly incredible. Awesome. Well, that is one dead cultist. We do love it when the cultists die that quickly. Awesome. So with that done, yep. So that's all done. So now let us see what the next waypoint is. All right. So we managed to stabby. And so now we go into the shadowed courtyard. Beyond a ruined gate lies a courtyard fronting an ancient stronghold. Scores of cultists dwell within that fortress, but you've no need to take a direct route. Instead, descend the well into the tunnels below. Okay, so there is a well. There is tunnels. We know that. Again, we've taken care of their gatesmen. They don't know any more the wiser on whether we are here or not. The captain probably would thank us after we managed to get through the mage and for saving any further deaths from his men. So let's see, is there a reward? Is there a reward thing here? Because this is which thingamabobby? Oh yeah, these are exploration tables. Okay, so this is what I'll do. Because I have a couple of different cards here that might apply. So I'm going to randomize a couple of different coin values here that he might have on him. So we're going to use any of these coin cards, and I'll show you guys what these look like in just a moment. This probably won't have gold, but might have some silver on them. Might have some copper on him. Is that it? He may even have... Let me see. May even have that on him. One of these. So we are going to randomize this real quick and see what we get. I'm just double checking to make sure that I've taken any of these that might make sense for what he might have on him. Awesome. So, so we've got a couple of cards that are kind of like this that show off silver coins or copper coins. I've also put in some basic like jewelry and gemstones and things like that, as well as a grimoire. So we're going to scramble this. I'm going to take one of these cards at random. This is going to be our reward for managing to assist the orcs with their entrance into the cultists' den here. Because I think we've done them a solid, honestly. So we've got our selections here. And again, I can't see it because it's beside my head here. I'm going to take this one. So we get 2d6 copper coins from that reward. Not bad. All right, so I'm going to roll what that value is. Six copper coins. Not bad. All right. So we are going to do ourselves 6 copper as a reward for helping the orcs. Awesome. So we now proceed into this next area. We already know that the well is a thing there. So let us roll some unexpected danger. There's a creature. Ooh. Very interesting. All right. So what kind of creature are we talking about? Well, we already know cultists are there. Trolls, maybe. Let me see which of these makes sense then and would be considered creatures. So we have vampiric bats. Trolls, meh. Trolls are pretty big, aren't they? Hold up. Let me just see what a troll is supposed to look like. Because I thought trolls are supposed to be pretty sizable. Yeah, they are. They're large. So yeah, that wouldn't really make sense. Because I'm envisioning this is probably going to be something that's down in the well as we kind of descend. So a spoder might make sense. So let me count. So we've got ghosts, spiders, harpies, nah, skeletons maybe, vampiric bats. So we've got ghosts, spiders, not harpies, skeletons, bats. Yeah. So let's roll a d4 going up the list there, because that might make more sense than rolling on the whole table. All right, bats. Yeah, that makes sense. So let's see. So we peer into the well. I'm going to, as always, as I approach this thing, make myself hard to spot. Oh, I thought I had a dragon there. That would have been awesome. Not a big deal, though. So we got ourselves a sneak. And then I'm going to roll awareness to see if we spot these things. We do not. I'm not going to push it. So we peer into the well. And I'm going to roll acrobatics to start descending the well. We do. Awesome. Very cool. So we managed to start descending down into the well. And before too long, we hear the squeaking and chirping of a nest of bats that have made their nest within one of the loosened and hollowed out sections of this old well. So let me take a quick look here. As I understand it, vampiric bats are a monster. They are, and they're a swarm. All right, very cool. So we start descending down These bats are decidedly going to be all over us. Not great. Not ideal. So the real question here is, where are their attacks? Because any monster has attacks. Skills, evade, resistance, description. Am I just silly and just don't know how this is supposed to work? Okay. Yeah, so this is about to get bad. So we are sneaking. So if that counts for anything, we might be able to slip past these guys unnoticed. I'll roll again with a Bane because I didn't know these guys were there to see if we managed to actually succeed or not. Because I think that makes sense for us to do that. So let me roll a sneaking with a Bane. Okay. Do I push that roll? That sucks. That sucks that I rolled a dragon on a Bane roll. That's really frustrating. Shit. We're going to be scared. We are going to push this roll. I'm terrified of these bats. They do not fill me with joy. I am not very happy about it. And we succeed! Okay, very cool. So we are scared and very, very cautiously place our hands on the cobble as we descend deeper into the well. And we do manage to sneak past the bats. Very, very good. Okay, thank God. So we find ourselves down now into the next waypoint, the Ratways. These stifling tunnels afford little room for mistakes. Heed not the voice calling ye to refuge, for it speaks only lies. Follow the silent darkness, and into the cult's black heart ye will emerge. Ooh, good. Oh, I hate how that sounds. That's spooky as fuck. Okay. So yeah, as we descend into the Ratways, we can hear a voice echoing through, calling us to safety. Thankfully, Ingolfer has warned us against this. So now I will use my flint to light my torch, allowing me light, which will give us a ban on our sneaking. And I'm going to roll some threats here. So what are our unexpected dangers here? A cursed item. Very interesting. Okay. What would be the cursed item? Those copper coins the orcs gave me. I don't know, because I think it's usually applied to a scene. So it's scene by scene. I will say at this point, we're probably good to advance our threat by one, though. Because we have gone through another 2 waypoints. So the copper coins are probably not cursed. But there's something cursed here. So we know that there's something cursed here. And now we'll need to ask ourselves questions as we kind of navigate through the darkness. So, heed not the voice calling you to safety. So now, I think now we have to roll our awareness. We need to know if we know the path forward or not. We have been warned on this. So because Ingolfer has warned us, I will give us a boon to rolling this next check. That is not a good awareness roll. Think we're going to roll exhausted. I'm beginning to become exhausted with how many mazes and challenges we've gone through. We're going to try and push this. Yes! Okay, very cool. So we do become aware of where the voice is, and by extension, where we should not go. So we press on toward the darkness, our torch bearing light forward for us to follow. And there is a cursed item somewhere along here. So now let me roll. Because by extension of that awareness, we will also take that to allow ourselves to scavenge. There's nothing of note. Very interesting. Okay, very cool. So, so we find our way through the ratways to an old sewer grate that leads us up into the fortress of the cultists. I quench the torch against the moist, water-drenched soil that we find here. There are no further creatures that can attack us, thankfully. And so now, where is our thing here? You've become bait. Maybe. Ritual chamber. So, okay. Oh, so this is the pit we're coming up through. So a wide pit occupies the center of this room, surrounded by scrawled, fiendish symbols. Steam rises through the pit from the magma below, clouding the space in sulfurous fog. Ariok and a pair of cultist priests lair here in the midst of some vile ritual. Seize the shard and make haste to return. Okay. So Ariok and a pair of cultist priests are the inhabitants of the rooms. There are 3 people in here, and the orcs haven't breached deep enough here to find their way to me. Okay. So yeah, as I approach the underside of this grate, I can see a long fall below me that would lead us down into the magma. So I will search along the Ratway tunnel here to a side grate leading up into the room, because presumably there's more than one way in. And let's ask the fortune table. Is there another way in, or do we have to take that route? That's actually probably a good way to... there we go, fortune chart. So roll a d6. Yes, there is... Or no, that's a no. Interesting. Alright, so there's not another way into the room other than that pit in the center, which the Ratway kind of just leads to. Okay. So now this just got a little harder. Because now we really need to make sure that we do this next part right. So we are going to roll acrobatics to try and climb the loose cobble up into the room. And we don't get a boon on this. Oh, thank God. Okay, so we managed to climb the loose cobble along the side of the pit up into the ritual chamber, where we can already hear the chanting of Ariok and 2 other ritualists chanting some profane ritual. So, okay. So let us see what the contents of this place are. Remote encampment. Reroll that. Topple pillars, okay. Cracked terrain, okay. And flaming braziers. That makes sense. Okay. So, yeah, so we emerge into a room that is not well maintained. Cracked and crumbling pillars adorn it. The ground itself fissured by the heat from the magma below. So Ariok and his two cultist buddies, they are supposedly guarding. Because we're here, remind me. Because we... let's see, where is it? Cultist Warren. A devotee of the dunes who wears the Worldbreaker shard as a medallion. Wrest it from them so we may remake its power for good. Okay. So there is a cultist here. So we need to lift this off his neck. Fuck. Okay. I can coup de grace only one of them, maybe. Before the others will attack me. And the sneak is going to be done at a Bane. Oh, this is dicey. This is dicey. Shit, man. Okay. Ooh, so we're going to see if I can sneak up to within melee range of Ariok. Because if we can, I've got an idea. So we do have a Bane on this roll. Oh, you piece of shit. Okay. We're past the room for diplomacy. I'll take sickly. So we become ill just because of the sulfurous smog in the room. But by doing so, we attempt it again and we succeed. Yes! Okay, very cool. All right. So, very, very good. So we managed to get up just behind Ariok. I will now attempt a sleight of hand roll while he is in his chanting to very carefully unlatch the top of the chain, pull this off of his neck, and run off with this shit. Because if we succeed at doing this, we might just get out of here without having to fight him. And because he is unaware that we are there, I think this makes sense. I think this makes sense to take a boon on this. I think. Let's ask the fate dice. Fate dice. Does this make sense for us to have a boon? Fate dice agrees with me. Very cool. So we have a boon. Yes! So we very gently unlatch the back of the chain, lift the Worldbreaker shard off of this guy without him noticing, pocket that shit in our bag, and looking to the others to ensure they've not seen a thing, we now tumble our way back down into the pit from whence we came. I'm going to make one more sneaking check here. Add a Bane, because we are sneaking away from them now. Yes! Oh! Sneak down to the pit. Acrobatics. Yes! Okay. Yep, we get out of there. We're back into the rat ways. We relight our torch after we're a safe distance away from the room. And we continue fucking leaving. Oh, that is so good. Okay. So the only thing we now need to know is if we get out of this completely scot-free. If we do, great. If not, we'll have to contend with some shit. Okay. So. Okay. So we need to roll one more sneaking check as we... So let me roll acrobatics first to start climbing out. Yep, we're climbing back out of that well. And now let me roll a sneaking check here with a boon, because we know that the bats are here. So we can be very careful. Yes! Okay, very good. So we get up the well, out into the courtyard again. Let me check awareness against a 5 from these cultists, because they may or may not be aware. Let me ask the fate die. Let's ask the fate die. Fate die. Did the cultists notice their world breaker shard missing after I've run away? Fuck, they did. Okay, the alarm's been raised. This is about to get a little trickier. So I hear the shouting of cultists as I near the edge of the top of the well. They've been made aware that their world breaker shard is now missing. Fuck. So now we're going to need to roll ourselves a sneaking check with a Bane. See if we can get out of this. Oof, we do. Okay. All right, so we sneak out, and amidst the guards looking away, the orcs have begun pouring into the courtyard, and among the chaos, I slip out unnoticed, heading toward the... All right, and so we are at this point going to have to turn the threat forward because of that awareness, so now it's going to slow us getting out of here. Okay, so we are back at the bridge. And I am still skulking through the chambers on my way out. So getting out, let us see, leaving the breach. If it's clear, you may retreat from the breach without incident. If the way is fraught with dangers, roll awareness or sneaking to see how you fare. If you fail, you must first overcome a danger. So we were going to roll one more sneaking check without a boon to see if we get out from this point, because the dangers are going to be a little more disorganized from this point on. Of course. Failed with a demon. I bet. Okay, we can't push demons. So now we need... Now we need to see something here. Where is it? Because there's a demon roll. Demon effects. Here we go. Draw unwanted attention. Well, of course I draw unwanted attention. Okay, very cool. So as I sneak through, that same fucker who was looking as I was heading through the entry annex into the temple here sees me sneaking out. And yeah, now we've got the cultists to deal with. Oh, shit. Okay. Yep, so we got found. Very sad. Okay. Very sad. This is about to get really, really hairy. Okay. So we've got a bunch of cultists to deal with now. This guard in particular, thankfully, was the only one who saw us, but they've now followed us, along with several other cultists who were not out of the room yet. So, let me get my... Oh, monsters aren't their own thing. Okay. So, Dragonbane Solo Adventure. So, we've got 3 minions that I'm going to need to contend with now. And I probably need to advance the threat marker one more here. Oh boy, this is gonna get really bad. Shit. Because each of these guys have, what, 12 hit points? Alright. So yeah, they draw their swords on me. Which is not ideal. So let me check their rules now. Because they have a set of actions that they will take on me. So NPC attacks. Alright. So first, let's draw initiative. So my initiative... So I'm going to draw mine first. Because again, these guys weren't trying to sneak up on me. I just happened to draw their attention. So mine is an 8. That's fun. The first cultist is a 6. The second is a 3. And the third is a 9. Okay. So 2 of them get to go before me. So the first one... Intimidating Rage. They roar or rampage. Roll against will to resist fear. Oh no. I mean... I'm already scared, so... Let's see. Because fear is, just so I'm clear on the condition here. Fear. Fear attacks. Struck by a fear attack must immediately roll against will. If the will roll fails, you must roll on the fear table on the next page. Okay. So the next thing we need to see is if we are afraid, we roll a d8. A 5. Scream in horror, which causes all player characters who hear the sound to immediately suffer a fear attack as well. To resist the same fear attack. Okay. So I just scream. That's what happens there. So that's actually not that bad. That's actually not that bad. Just want to make sure that that is it. Okay. Yeah, we're good. So we're not completely afraid. That is good. So that's what number 3 decides to do. Number 6 decides to do an attack on me. Of course they do. So we'll just say this is the first, the second, the third. All right. So second guy swings broadsword at me. They fail. Very good. So I am able to duck the attack without even trying. And now it is my turn. So the one that decided to attack me, I am going to swing right back. Say hello to my knife. And I hit. Very good. So I will now roll my damage. 5 damage against this one right here. And then deal damage. Very cool. Awesome. So next, that's mine done. And now the last one will attack me as well. So they will make a melee weapon attack. So their broadsword swing. They do manage to hit me for 3 damage. All right. All right. So I suffer a little bit of damage. Not the end of the world. So where we are fighting is this annex. So, well, now Now that this guy's hurt me, I get boons against attacks to hit him. So let's redeal initiative now, because the round is done. So the initiative is as follows. So my initiative is 8. The first guy on the left there's his initiative is 9. Next one is a 3. And the other one is a 1. Alright. So the one who just hit me actually gets to go again. So they are going to do what? Roars. Roll against will to resist fear. So will... Yes! Okay, so I'm not afraid. You thought you could scare me? You were wrong. Alright. Next, it's going to be this guy, who is going to take a defensive stance. So he is not happy I hit him last round. So if you've not acted this round, the NPC swaps initiative cards with you and parries or dodges with a boon. If you do not attack or have already attacked them, use their action to attack with a Bane. Okay. So they swap their initiative with me. Okay. Very cool. So now I take their round. Being that this guy hurt me, I'm actually going to activate Unforgiving because I just want to read that really quick. When attacking someone who harmed you in the past, at least 1 point damage, you get a boon to the roll. It does not matter when the damage was inflicted. It may be wise to write down the names of everyone who harms you so you do not forget them. All right, so I'm going to spend 3 of my willpower because I'm just going to swing back at this guy, taking a boon to the roll from my Unforgiving. And we are going to attempt to stab this guy. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I'm going to get angry. How dare you swing at me? How dare you swing at me? And I'm going to hit. Awesome. Very cool. So now we roll damage. 10 damage to this guy. Awesome. Very cool. So we target that guy. Deal the damage. Selected. Very cool. He is hurting pretty bad. All right. That's my turn for the round. Oh, wait. I should get Delta's second initiative. So I'm at 6 as well. I completely forgot to do that last round. All right, so with that in mind, let's go ahead and swing down on this guy again. See if we can just kill him completely. Because, yeah, we'll get 2 boons against this guy, basically. Yes! Die! All right, very cool. This guy's dead. I accidentally rolled that twice. Whoopsie daisy. So we are going to deal him damage. Dude is dead. Goodbye. All right, cool. So that takes number... He already acted this round. So he's gone out of the running. Awesome. So next, that's both of our actions done. Next, it's this guy who will then take a swing on us at a Bane. So that's very good. So Bane's 1 roll. And he will fail. Very good. All right, so his action's done. Now for the last guy. Did I close the adventure like in Dum Dum? Probably. Let me reopen my journal. Where's my journals? Journal. Solo Adventure Alone Deepfall Breach. Here we go. So NPCs, melee, wild attack. They attack with a boon. A successful attack inflicts an extra D6 damage. You are knocked down if you attack them before your next turn. You also attack with a boon. Interesting. Okay. So with that in mind, this guy is going to be attacking me with a boon. And if they hit, they deal me extra damage. Damn it. Okay. So they'll be... I need to do it really quick. Because it's... an extra d6. I didn't do this right. So yeah, I'll re-roll this real quick. Because he's succeeded, I just want to make sure. Okay. Shit. Alright, so he succeeded. Wait, why was it 3d6? Wait, what? Hold up. How did that happen? Wait a fucking minute. D6. Boon 1. There we go. Okay. It's like, hold up. I want to make sure that's done right, because I'm like, okay, cool. So he does succeed. Rolls 12 damage on me. Uh-oh. It's not looking good, guys. Uh-oh. Deal damage. 0 HP. Became prone. Uh-oh. This is not good. So now we're dying. Boons and Banes. Let's see. Now I need to know what happens. So if we are starting to die... if we're starting to die, what happens? Death. On each turn in a subsequent round, you must make a death roll, a roll against your constitution. The death roll cannot be pushed if that optional roll is used. Record the results of your death roll on your character sheet. After 3 successful death rolls, you recover d6 HP. If you fail death rolls, rolling a dragon counts as 2 successful death rolls. Demon, 2 failures. Combat ends, keep counting until all death rolls have been made. If you suffer additional damage while 0 HP, it automatically counts as a failed death roll. Okay. So basically, they keep swinging down on me. We're in trouble. So we're in danger, guys. We're in danger. So I've dealt with one of the cultists. And I've got these other 2 still swinging down at me. I do get to swing back at this guy next turn, though, at a boon. So there's that. So we'll now deal myself 2 cards. So I've got the 2 and the 6. Guy on the left is a 9. Guy on the right is an 8. Okay, so I get both my turns before they get theirs. That is big. So the first of my turns is here. So let's make a death save. Oh no, that's really bad. Can I heal myself? Because I believe I can try to stabilize myself with healing. So if I can, I will. Let's see, stretch rest, shift rest. Where's the death chapter that I just had? Hold up. This is not good. Where? Death. Here we go. Rally. Persuade you to rally. Okay. So I can attempt to persuade myself to keep fighting. So we are going to do that. Are you fucking kidding me? I've gotta. I'm disheartened. Oh no. Okay. Well, that ain't good. Because, yeah, now I can't keep fighting on this round. That was my action to try and convince myself. So the next turn I take here, I'm going to do the same thing. And is death roll on your turn in each subsequent round. So I think it's once per round. Okay. So we don't need to make another death save, but I do need to try and persuade myself. Oh, thank God. Okay. So we can keep going. That is good. But that was my turn. So I might be dead either way. That's not good. Not ideal. So they're going to get their actions now. So the guy on the right is first. Deal a blow. All right. This one. Wait, no, that's me. This one. Or no, it's this guy. So this guy swings at me. Fails, thank God. If I am prone, that doesn't give melee attackers benefit, does it? Prone targets. Your attack gets a boon and inflicts extra damage. Okay. So they do manage a boon. So hold up. I need to roll that correctly. So this is going to have a boon. And it does get an extra d6 damage. Well, that's our extra death save. So that immediately counts as a failure on our part. So we die. That's what that is. We are officially dead. So deal damage. That is our failure. We are gone. And that's that, folks. We did not get out of the breach. We died with the World Breaker shard in our hand. Oh, what a shame. Okay. Well, that's that, guys. Good stuff. Good stuff. That was fun. I did enjoy that. So yeah, let me just pick my cards up here. Oh, what a shame. It was a good run, though. It was a good run. All right. That did escalate quickly. See, that's the thing. This system is deadly as hell. But the fact that we rolled so low on some of our stats, I also debatedly I should not have taken Constitution sickness, and I may have wanted to take a short rest once I was outside the gates to make sure that I was as healed up as I could get. But yeah, it turns around like that fast. So chat, here's the question for you all. Would you prefer us to run another one, another mission? Because I know we've been streaming for about 2 hours. Would you like to roll another mission here? And I can roll up a new character because mine is dead. Or would you prefer it if I took a quick break and I may switch over to Twitch for this next part if we decide to do this. But we could do some 2077 because I do have a challenge run to complete. Because I'm down to do either one. And I will put this up to a vote. So that way we can do that. Start a poll. Do we roll another? Oh, let me see. To continue or Cyberpunk? All right, chat. I have started the poll. So we can either continue this. Either way, I'll probably take a quick break. So we either continue here on YouTube and do more Dragonbane, or I can switch over to Cyberpunk and we can do that instead. Continue? Okay. So we have one vote for continue. Split vote? Okay. We've got 2 votes in 50-50 between continuing this or doing some Cyberpunk. Flip a coin, yeah. We've got, there are a few other viewers here that I can see. So if anyone else wants to participate, I will give it a minute here. Just to see. All right. Well, here's what I'll do, actually. I will leave the poll running here. I am going to go on a quick break. And if the poll hasn't made its mind up, we'll ask the fate dice to decide. So I'm going to take a quick break, though. I'm going to get some water, go say hi to my wife because she's gotten home since I've been doing this. And yeah, then we'll just see what the poll or the fate die decides. So I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, everyone. I am back. And I think, yeah, my mic is still working. Good. So, it appears chat has voted for Cyberpunk. My wife has also voted for Cyberpunk. So I will put away Dragonbane. I'll probably, you know what? We'll keep this all on YouTube. What the fuck? So what I'm going to do real quick, bear with me just a moment here. I am going to start firing things up. So I'm going to create a new waiting room for us. Bear with me just a moment. Just so I can keep these separated on my channel for later. So bear with me 2 seconds here while I do this. And we're going to do gaming. Thumbnail. Nah, we don't got a thumbnail for this. That's okay. How do I want to go live? Streaming software. We got Cyberpunk 2077. Deathless nudist percent run. All right. Alrighty. Let me see, when is this? Playlists. Da da da. Some category. Da da da. Next. Live chat and replay. Can be anybody. Cool. Public and... Alright, yeah, and we'll just schedule it to go live right now. Alright. Cool. Alright, so... Let me do this. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna try and push us over to the new one here. So bear with me one moment while I do that. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we're all still here. So now if we do the following. All right, let me just figure out how to send us over to my new waiting room. Waiting on YouTube. Wait, that's a video. Hold up. Let's see. Redirecting on YouTube. All right, give me just a moment, guys. I'm going to put on the standby screen. I should redirect you here as soon as I've figured this out. So just give me a minute, and if you see the new screen come up, you'll know that I've done it right. Okay, guys. So for some reason, it's not letting me redirect to the other one. So I'm going to end this stream and I'm going to pull up the next one. I am going to go ahead and make a shareable link here and put that in chat. So you guys can go over to this, and then I'll be going live here momentarily with this new one. So I'm going to put that in there. So all you got to do is go there, and I will see you all shortly. So thank you all. I apologize for the issue here.